Hi everyone, my name is Christie McReynolds and today I'll be presenting my final project, ChatGPT and Reference Services in Libraries. So what exactly is ChatGPT and why does it matter for libraries right now? ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence system trained on massive data sets of text to generate human-like responses to questions. As we learned earlier in this course, AI models like this don't understand language the way people do. They predict patterns based on probabilities. Still, patrons are already using tools like ChatGPT to find information, write essays, or even generate citations. This means librarians are now meeting patrons who arrive with answers, sometimes accurate, sometimes not, that were produced by AI. Our challenge is to bridge this new reality by helping users evaluate what AI provides and guide them toward reliable, ethical information practices. ChatGPT works through a process called machine learning. As we saw in our lectures on neural networks, it predicts the next word in a sequence based on patterns it has learned. Its strengths are clear. It understands natural language, it's fast, and it's available anytime. Patrons appreciate that it feels conversational, like chatting with a helpful assistant. But the weaknesses are just as important. ChatGPT sometimes hallucinates or invents information that sounds plausible but isn't true. It also doesn't provide transparent sources or citations unless prompted carefully. That lack of verifiable references makes it risky as a standalone tool for research. Let's imagine ChatGPT in the library. A patron might use it to ask for quick facts, like the opening hours of a museum or the definition of an academic term. They might also ask for help refining a research question, brainstorming search strategies, or use it to create an outline for a project. Similar to the screenshots that I provided on this slide, where I prompted GPT to help with an outline for a fifth grader working on a school project regarding Neptune. In her study of 2024, librarian Sylvia Yang tested ChatGPT with 22 real reference questions. She found that the tool handled straightforward factual queries fairly well, but it struggled with complex academic ones that required citing specific databases or scholarly sources. That tells us ChatGPT can complement our reference work, but can't replace the professional judgment and critical evaluation librarians bring to the table. So, what makes ChatGPT appealing in a library context? Well, first, accessibility. It supports multiple languages and can simplify complex information for patrons who might struggle with academic jargon that can make information feel more inclusive. Second, speed. It provides immediate answers which can reduce wait times for simple inquiries. Third, comfort. Some patrons find it easier to ask an AI what they might hesitate to ask a librarian, especially questions they think are too basic. In that sense, ChatGPT could help bridge confidence gaps in information seeking, particularly for first-generation students or patrons returning to education later in life. But the challenges are serious. As we discussed in our course lectures and readings, algorithms reflect the biases of their training data. ChatGPT may unintentionally reinforce stereotypes or reproduce misinformation it has seen online. In a 2023 study, researchers Lay and Tomorrow evaluated ChatGPT's reference responses and found that it sometimes fabricated sources and citations entirely. This means librarians must approach AI outputs with caution and teach patrons to verify claims through trusted databases. Beyond accuracy, there are also ethical questions. Should librarians recommend a tool that isn't transparent about where its information comes from? And how do we ensure user privacy if conversations with AI tools are stored or analyzed by third parties? These are the questions that define responsible AI use in our profession. When we think critically about AI, it helps to remember Meredith Broussard's work, Artificial Unintelligence. She argues that we often assume computers are objective when in fact they mirror human bias and limitations. That's the core of what we studied this semester. Technology is not neutral. As one of our lecturers explained, algorithms learn from historical data, and that data reflects society's inequalities. So when libraries adopt tools like ChatGPT, we can't just focus on efficiency. We also have to consider fairness, accountability, and transparency. Librarians are in a unique position to model critical evaluation, not just of books and databases, but now of algorithms themselves. How can librarians responsibly use ChatGPT? First, we can use it as a supplement, not a substitute. It's great for brainstorming keywords, generating outlines, or translating basic terms, but librarians should always verify information before passing it on. Second, we can teach patrons how to evaluate AI-generated responses. That includes checking for missing citations, verifying dates, and cross-referencing claims in scholarly databases. In the example that I provided screenshots of, I clicked on the various links that were provided after I prompted ChatGPT to provide links, and only 2 of them, maybe it was 3, actually worked. So we want to make sure that those are valuable. Third, we could create staff guidelines, essentially an AI policy, to clarify how reference staff should handle questions involving ChatGPT. Studies like those by Mannheimer and colleagues highlight the importance of transparency and human oversight in any responsible AI practice. Here's a simple framework librarians might follow. ChatGPT is helpful for brainstorming search terms, summarizing broad topics, or explaining unfamiliar concepts in plain language. But it should be avoided for anything requiring authoritative or specialized information like legal, medical, or historical research. A 2024 review by Zakaria and Ibrahim found that while ChatGPT can enhance engagement and personalization, its accuracy and bias issues mean libraries must develop clear protocols before integrating it into regular service. So think of it as a conversation starter, not a final answer, much like Wikipedia. In summary, ChatGPT is here to stay, and patrons are already using it, often before they even come to us. That puts librarians in an exciting but complex position. We have the opportunity to guide users in understanding how these tools work, when to trust them, and when to verify them. Our role has always been to connect people with reliable information. Now, that includes helping them navigate a world where AI tools can produce both brilliance and nonsense in the same sentence. By embracing AI literacy, we can ensure libraries remain trusted spaces for critical thinking and ethical information use. To close, I'd like to leave you with a few questions. Should libraries formally integrate ChatGPT into their services? How can we train both staff and patrons to use it responsibly? And what safeguards, ethical, legal, and technical, should be in place before we adopt AI tools widely? Thank you so much for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions or hear your perspectives on how you see ChatGPT fitting into our libraries. References used in this presentation include studies by Sylvia Yang, Lay and Tomorrow, Mannheimer and colleagues, Zakaria and Ibrahim, and Chigwada and Ndlovu, along with Meredith Broussard's Artificial Unintelligence, and our course lectures on AI and machine learning fundamentals.